See the disturbing reality of law enforcement identity theft. This compilation shows incidents where emergency personnel unintentionally shot the wrong people. The split-second decisions made by officers have had disastrous results, despite their training and good intentions. This sobering reminder highlights the need for enhanced police procedures and training. Number 1. A Titusville police officer seen in recent body camera footage just before he fatally shoots a man he thought was a suspect. As of right now, the cop's in custody.
Stop running! Stop reaching your pocket!
These are the tense moments leading up to 40-year-old James Lowry getting shot in the back of the head.
Officer Joshua Payne was responding to a report of domestic violence when he pursued the victim, James Lowry, and shot him in the back of the head. When Lowry's family saw the footage for the first time, they thought it proved his killing was unjustified.
Lowry's sister, Johari Brown, says the video proves her brother was wrongly killed. And while they fought to see this final piece of evidence,
Payne's been accused of manslaughter, although he insists it was an accident. Johari Brown, Lowry's sister, laments her brother's passing and calls for the guilty officer to be found guilty in order to bring about justice.
It's taken way too long for what we already knew. He had a big heart, and he would do anything for anyone.
Number 2. While pursuing a suspect in 2019, Milwaukee police officer Nicholas Zenz unintentionally shot a bystander.
Right now!
Milwaukee police officer Nicholas Zenz accidentally shot a bystander.
Tari Davis, a spectator observing from his home, was hit by a gunshot that Zenz fired at the suspect, whom he thought was armed, according to body camera evidence.
Court documents say Officer Zenz thought the suspect was armed and fired one bullet into the wrong person.
Despite the cries of his fiancée and daughters, Davis was handcuffed by the authorities. After a suspension, Zenz lost his job, although he was not charged with anything.
Officer Nicholas Zenz was fired after a 20-day unpaid suspension, but he was not criminally charged.
Number 3. Police in Farmington, New Mexico, shot and killed 52-year-old Robert Dodson after responding to the wrong emergency call, according to disturbing body camera evidence.
Body camera video shows officers report the shots fired as they back away from the home.
Fired! Shots fired!
Officers responded to a domestic violence call at Dodson's residence on April 5th. Despite repeated announcements, authorities got no answer from inside. The video shows them giggling after realizing they may have the wrong address.
5308 Valley View Avenue, had a confidence factor.
Don't tell me I'm wrong.
After approaching the front door, Dodson was shot and killed. When his wife, Kimberly Jones Dodson, approached, officers fired again, mistaking her for a threat. The children inside the house were unhurt after Dodson's wife was handcuffed.
3 kids upstairs. Yeah. 3 kids upstairs. 3 kids upstairs.
Number 4. Los Angeles Police Department body camera footage shows officers responding to a clothes store assault on December 23rd. A bleeding alive woman's found on the floor. Daniel Alina Lopez, 24, is believed to be at the end of the aisle.
The officers open fire.
Lopez is shot and killed by police. However, a bullet enters a changing room and kills a 14-year-old girl. The LAPD chief said the situation was sad.
Mourners left tributes for the young girl, while the chief of police in Los Angeles described the incident as devastating and traumatic.
Number 5. Garrett Rolfe, a former Georgia police officer, is accused of murdering unarmed black man Rayshard Brooks. Brooks was shot twice in the back while fleeing Rolfe and another police officer in an Atlanta car park.
He pointed the taser at the officer, who responded by fatally shooting him in the back.
A routine call about Brooks sleeping in his fast food car started the affair. After failing a sobriety test, Brooks recommended walking to his sister's house. When cops arrested him, Brooks grabbed and fired one of the officers' tasers at Rolfe, who shot him.
That's when a fight broke out in which he seized and fired one of the officers' tasers.
Stop fighting!
After Rolfe kicked Brooks on the floor, Devin Brosnan stood on his shoulders for 2 minutes without offering medical treatment. According to prosecutors, if convicted, Rolfe might be executed. Number 6. Robert Bates, an unpaid volunteer reserve deputy with the Tulsa County Sheriff's Department, shot and killed unarmed black man Eric Courtney Harris on April 13, 2015.
An officer wearing a body camera chased down and tackled Harris, and other officers joined the struggle.
Harris was shot during an undercover drugs and guns operation targeting a convicted felon. When Bates grabbed his revolver instead of a taser, he shot Harris, who was resisting arrest and fleeing. Bates, 73, apologized immediately after realizing his mistake.
The 73-year-old Tulsa County Reserve deputy said he was sorry after he shot Eric Courtney Harris,
citing slips and capture, where the brain tells the body to do one thing but performs another. After Harris was shot, officers handcuffed him and ignored his protestations of not being able to breathe. As shown on many cameras, Harris died in the hospital despite treatment.
Harris was treated at the scene by firefighters but died at the hospital.
Number 7. Following an allegation of an attack with a dangerous weapon, there was an officer-involved shooting in Newton Vision, Los Angeles. On March 29, 2022, Jose Pereira, 45, was allegedly brandishing a weapon at people inside a car and then at patrons inside a restaurant. Pereira was observed carrying what looked to be a firearm when the police arrived.
Radio call in the area of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Avalon Boulevard.
Officer Guerrero was shot by an officer and injured. He was brought to the hospital. Pereira received medical attention for a gunshot wound, and his cell phone was found as proof. Number 8. While Ryland Wilder was cleaning up at a Chicago music school, an armed suspect in a bank robbery broke through the doors and ran away from the police.
What happens next comes out of nowhere. An armed suspect fleeing police runs into the school.
Police shot and killed the suspect in the following chaos, but they also accidentally shot Wilder. Despite making it through, Wilder was afraid his hopes for a music career were dashed.
A police officer is right behind him and opens fire.
He had 18 surgeries before he adjusted to a new style of guitar playing. A settlement of $1.9 million was reached out of his family's lawsuit against the police department, which claimed excessive and reckless behavior.
18 operations later, Ryland had to learn to play guitar a whole new way. And here he is.
Number 9. A guy brandished a rifle at a constable who was responding to an alarm report at a house, thinking the constable was an invader.
Who are you? The sheriff's office! What are you here for? Because we got an alarm call!
The constable tried to defuse the situation, but the man felt threatened and pulled a gun, striking the constable.
Oh my God, call the cops, please! I am the cops! Call the ambulance, please! Alright, where's the gun?
The officer shot back in self-defense, hitting the suspect several times. Despite their injuries, both people lived.
I can't believe you did this to me, man! Okay, we're not gonna talk about this right now. We're gonna focus on keeping you alive, okay?
Number 10. A $19 million settlement has been given to the parents of a 22-year-old Colorado man who was shot and killed by law enforcement.
Go on, Jimmy! Go on, Jimmy!
Christian Glass's automobile got stranded on an embankment last year while he was out rock hunting. He dialed 911 to ask for assistance.
Glass was on a rock hunting trip when his car got stuck on an embankment. He called 911 for help.
But when he claimed to be terrified of skinwalkers and to be experiencing a mental health crisis, things rapidly became strange. Police eventually lost patience and smashed into the car after a 70-minute standoff. That's it for today's video. If you like watching similar content, do check out my other video, Karens Who Resisted Arrest from Police, and I hope to see you in the next video.